trees have been partly shaped, but I haven't done anything for the last 10 years. I did prune some of these lower branches because sometimes they die from lack of light. So this can still be improved. All these trees can be improved. Every single tree here can be improved. So how do I approach a tree like this? Now the unique thing about this tree is it's got almost like triple trunk. And with pines, to get these triple trunks is quite unusual, quite rare. So I will make the best out of this. Rather than try and reduce it to a single trunk, let's use the triple trunk to its fullest. So I will look at it from every side to see if there is one side which is better than the other. I want to be able to see all the tree trunks, because if there are 3 trunks, why should I go and hide them? So looking at it from this side, the 3 trunks look very nice like this. I think from any other side, the 3 trunks don't look so good. If I turn it around here, I don't think it looks so good like that either. So I've more or less, let's turn it once more. So we can always plant it at a different angle, you know. So just because it's planted in a pot like that, it doesn't mean it has to be like this forever and a day. That's also a possibility. But I think I will revert to what I looked at originally. Now this takes some time because I know it can be a decision that is irrevocable. That means once you do that, you may not be able to change it. So let's think carefully. Now, if I were to prop the tree like this and make that the leader, that is also possible, and show it like that. I'm doing the unconventional, that means propping it up like this. Okay, give us a minute, we will just put a rock on it. So this is something I don't often do, prop a tree up, but rather than use a side that is not ideal, I think by propping it up, planting it in the pot at this angle, I will get a natural, like a leader here, and then use the other side as the back. So then you can see the trunk better, and you can still see the 3 trunks. So let's see what happens. Let's get the little dead twigs out first. These little thin things can come out. I know that some people will take ages just to decide on that, but it comes with experience. The more you do, the more confidence you will get, so don't worry about that. So we always begin by taking the debris out. I call it debris because they're all dead, or half dead. These poor trees haven't been fed for the year, so I'm going to feed it heavily. Although it's August, they still have like a couple of months more of growing season, so lots of growth yet to come, and it will become very bushy after feeding. What more is there to do? I think we can tie it down with a bit of string like so. Can you see if I lower it down? That becomes a nice pad, and then this can become a nice pad. So it was really choosing the correct front, and that would make a decent garden tree for starters. Already a very nice conical shape, lovely bark. So I'll be planting it in a bigger pot come Monday, and see how it goes from there. So that's that one. And you must be wondering, it must have caught your eye, what is this? This is a tuya. And this was one of those difficult subjects. There are things called impossible bonsai, and I always reckon that tuya is one of those very difficult subjects to create into bonsai. And all these golden type conifers, very popular for rockeries but useless for bonsai. what would I do with a tree like that? Maybe have a bit of a cascade there. Since I'm doing it, I think you must be dying what is going through my mind. This is instant exercise in shaping. Okay, what shall we do with that? Okay, you've presented me with a challenge. I'm going to take it into the back greenhouse and do something with it. I know some of you must be laughing, but can we see the bonsai shape there? I think to complete it, I'm going to take it to the back greenhouse and we'll complete this. Right, we are halfway there. You saw me prune all those long shoots off in the field. It's got lovely bark. I dare say it's quite an old tree. My guess would be that it's at least 30 years old. And all those long branches are pruned off. These will obviously become nice gin features of the tree. These, in fact, have been formed naturally without any work being done to it. So let's see what we can create. The big question is, do I need something over here? It might be interesting. I won't discount it. So this will become driftwood. That will become driftwood. I think the main interest now is in these young shoots here. So let's do something to the top there. And they propagate from cuttings very easily. You see all these little nodules. They are in fact dormant roots. If you were to just put some soil there, the roots will come out and become a new plant. Now, rather than be put off by having to think about this, I will do something to this. So I will just tie that in, and I will make a feature of that long branch. I know that I'm quite drastic, but I don't like wasting material if I can help it. This, in fact, is how a lot of garden trees are shaped. You know, rather than having wider branches, you do just a guy wire like this, and you will have the desired results. So that will become a gin. We can use these. And let's see what we can do with this. This gin is a bit too long. A lot of people are fascinated by gins, and they, as I say, do gins for the sake of doing gin. But if it's in the wrong place, it doesn't look right. Look at the bud back over there. Look at the young shoot there. So they do bud back. They bud back very easily. Not make very long ugly gins. Let's do just short gins. So we're cutting a third of the way through the trunk and then breaking it so that it has a torn effect. I'll refine it in a minute. So that's the sort of length you want. I'll decide on that in a minute. Now let's put a piece of wire around this and see what emerges from that. So my two branch principle is I'm going to anchor it on this bit here. So the two branch principle always is just an anchor situation, anchor point. I'm not using excessively thick wire. This is only, I think, 3.5 mil. I may have to use a double, but let's see. And they mark very easily because they are fast growing trees. This has been in a small pot, so the growth has been restricted to a large extent. Thuya. I remember in one of the comments someone did ask, do you make Thuya bonsai? So now you can see Thuya being used. And as you can see, I haven't spent a lot of time. I've just put one piece of wire and I've just cut the branches out in the field. That's all I've done. So with bonsai, I think having the imagination and the vision is really the answer to creating interesting trees for bonsai. And don't despair, it will come. The more you practice, the more you will become good at it. I know that it's a combination of neuromuscular skills and also artistic vision, so you've got to combine the two. When I used to be crazy over swimming, that's when I realized how important the neuromuscular activity is. That means you have to keep repeating it to become good at it. So here we are. So the trees or the plants are just a medium of expression. It's what you do with it that counts. I think this transformation I'm really looking forward to because it's going to be quite dramatic. That poor tree has been sitting in the field for the last 15 years, I would say, maybe even more. Never did I think of making it to a bonsai. So YouTube, I must say, has given me a new incentive and a new lease of life, because until I started doing the videos, I never thought of sharing these little things with the general public. But now I realize that you've done me a favor, so I'm not doing you a favor. You've done me a favor because I've seen the interest there is, and it's given me a real incentive to actually create these things and to share it with you. If I hadn't had the opportunity, I would never have thought of using YouTube as a medium of expression. And as I said to you, my style of bonsai is quite different from a lot of other people's style of bonsai. And as I said, there's no right, no wrong. It's just that I do it my way. Other people do it their way. With this species of tree, because they are not long-lived, they are very vigorous. You've got to just accept it as a creation at one particular point in time. Once the creation has been made, that's it. Enjoy it for a few months, a couple of years, and think of recreating another shape from it. It's not going to be like this forever and a day. Well, not all bonsai stay the same forever and a day. So that's the beauty of bonsai, it's forever changing. And it gives you the chance to create something new all the time. I don't think I need that one. That is a branch going from there. I'm just tipping it so that it will bud back further into the wood. And the top, I think I will make a little more of a dome shape. I never like leaving it like that. There are some people who don't know what to do with it and they do leave it like that, but it doesn't give a finished look. It's always like what we call a feather in the cap, sticking right up. Just bend it forward a bit and give it a rounded shape. Taking care not to trap the foliage. Cypress, I don't know whether you call it foliage or needles, because it's neither a pine nor a broadleaf tree. But it's just foliage. So this is what I do. Make it slightly rounded like that. So this part is nice. Now, I could easily cut that off. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, you should get rid of that. That does nothing. And I think this leaning style is nice. I think I could do something with this. If I don't like it, I can cut it off. But since that makes it unusual, let's see what we can do with that. Now, turning it this way, I suddenly realized that this is also a possible front. I've always said, never have a closed mind, because very often what you had envisaged as being your preferred front may not necessarily end up as the front. So looking at it like this, I'm beginning to think that this is our possible front too. Mm-hmm. Very credible front. You will appreciate I work very fast, so I'm not doing the refinement. I'm just showing the general principles as what can be achieved. So this will all be ginned. Some people could take, oh, just doing the gins. This will be a gin. This will be gin. These will be ginned. Okay, let's work with this as the front. Let's work with this as the front. And we will do some dramatic gins there. So I will take my time to perfect this and wire this. So just to show you what I've now created using that really ugly tree. And we'll do a little bit of wiring there to just refine it a little bit. This is the sort of tree, I think if you gave it to about 10 people, I hope they will all come up with different results and different ideas. So everyone has a different viewpoint, and I would have loved to see what other people would have done to this tree. In fact, although I set out pruning the great big Bouverensis pines, I stumbled across a little gem. Now this is a bit of dead branch, and because it's dead branch, it's very hard to take the bark off, so you have to literally carve it out. If it was live, just by crushing the bark, the gin would have come very nicely, the driftwood. So I can estimate the length of wire I need. That comes with practice. Luckily, this variety is quite flexible. Doesn't break that easily. I'll try a double. That gin will have to be made later on. Let's see. I don't always like the look of guy wires because it always looks a bit untidy. Crack. Very often you do this and you hear it crack. Hasn't cracked yet. I think the rest I'm going to have to take my time because I think the gin is not going to be that easy to remove. Oh, this is annoying. But I'm not going to take all your time to show you just peeling the bark. But this is what I'm going to do. And then, I know that it's not the right time of the year to do a repot, but I may find a pot. I think a drum pot would look appropriate. So I will put it in a drum pot. You have such a lot of it to hand, so something like that might be okay. I'll just take it here. know my trees. Let's see what I can do. At the end of the day, most trees will grow in any soil, but they do grow better in certain soils. So this is what you got to understand. Unfortunately, you may not be able to do it if you don't have these facilities. So if you have a humid, unheated greenhouse, it may help. But if you don't, then I don't think you should try it. So this is all going to be a temporary repot. Come February, I'm going to do a proper repot. So look at all those roots. Because it's got such a lot of root, this is where I can use some common sense. I know if I cut a little bit, it won't suffer very much. And I'm only going to put it temporarily in this pot. I will tie the tree in so that it doesn't shake about. I'll just bring a couple of wires.
It looks good from all angles.
Yeah, Josh has just said that it looks nice from every side. And of course, using a round pot, I'm going to really be not cheating, you know, exploiting the different possibilities by using a round pot. So round pot will give you the chance to look at the tree from every possible side. Now I'm using proper bonsai compost because this is going to really help the roots. So the roots won't struggle. The roots will go straight into that wonderful compost and it's going to stay in this greenhouse. I'm not cutting any thick roots off. In fact, I'm going to just see how it looks like this. There's too much soil here. Well, having said I'm not going to cut the root, I will cut this because this is very proud. This is where understanding the tree, so many roots that taking the few odd ones out won't make it suffer. I'm putting it proud because I'm not going further than that. But come February, it will be properly repotted. This is just to hold the tree in temporarily. And in fact, I won't even use the bonsai compost. I want to use almost a type of bark very loose, soft compost so that roots can go in. I could, if I wanted to, even plant it in sphagnum moss, because it's only going to be a temporary measure till February. So in about 6 months' time, it will be repotted again. So I'm doing this just for the demonstration, nothing more. So I haven't refined it. I'll take a final shot after I've refined it. Now let's take it to the turntable again. So in half an hour, we've transformed that very unpromising material into something which looks a fairly credible bonsai. So always, it's just to show you what can be done with some of this difficult stuff. I'm going to take a final shot after I refine the gins, and there you go. That was a useful half an hour spent.